What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Trading Learning 101. It's Tuesday, July 9th. We are at 10:15 a.m. I am already done trading for the day. CEI with the big win today, going from $2.50 all the way up to $5 now. Doubling in price, up over 115%. Very nice move on CEI today. I'm done. I locked in my profits after taking all of last week off. Didn't trade yesterday. Settling back into the market. Get a real big payday today. I traded 3 stocks today. Made almost $700. Made almost $500 on SOLY. Made almost $400 on CEI, and I lost just over $200 on ALT. I got a little trigger happy on ALT. We'll go over all these trades. Let's jump into it. First up, let's go over ALT real quick. We'll start with this one. I got a little trigger happy on ALT. This does have a history of running. If you look at the daily chart on ALT, all these big green candles right here. And I remember ALT having big runs in the past. I liked the way this was setting up. It was gapping up above the 50-day and the 100-day. I'm thinking if this thing can break over $3, this thing could easily run up to $3.25 and $3.50. I already had my line at $3.50 drawn out from last time. ALT comes out with news today that they're acquiring Spitfire Pharma and adds NASH drug candidate to portfolio. Not eye-popping news, but something still to watch. Its float is 12 million. So I'm watching ALT here right at the open. Opens up right at this 275 area. Pops up to 285, back down to 270. Runs up here to 290s. Pulls back down to 280. I was looking for the $3 break way up here. And as soon as this thing got over VWAP right here at this 285 level, like I said, I got trigger happy. I got in looking for it to test $3. It didn't even get up to $3. It quickly surged up to 295, failed, and was just sitting right there at 285 and then sunk all the way back down below 280 to 275. I didn't see strength in it, so I cut it for a $200 loss. Watching these stocks right at the open, if you have like 3 stocks on watch and you don't see volume surging into one of your watches, then don't sit around and hope for it and wait for it. You gotta analyze and see all of what's going on. So took a loss on ALT. The next one up was SOLY. SOLY was the big winner yesterday, going from $12 and running all day, all the way up to $20. And remember yesterday, we were looking at this, and I said this $15 level right here was going to be a big resistance level for SOLY. Because if you were to look on the daily chart, $15 was a big resistance area that we spotted. So all this morning it touched $15 right there, almost right there, touched it right there, touched it right there. And you see how it just slowly but surely just got tighter and tighter and tighter up at that $15. And then right after lunch. Look at all this volume just come into it the whole day. Right before 1 p.m., it breaks over this $15 and off it went, running all the way up to $18, pulling back to the $16.50 level, running all the way up to $18.50, all the way back down to the $16.50 level, and then running real strong, closing really strong up to $19.50. And having patience and waiting for the stock, like I always say. You could see once it broke out of this, from this $15 range right here, the $16.50 area was some resistance for it. And then when it finally got above it and ran up and made a new high on the day, when it pulled back down, look at what was support, where it found resistance right in this area right here, held as support, ran all the way back up, topped right there, pulled back, made a higher low, and then made a new high on the day right here. Came back down, bounced off old support, or old resistance, I'm sorry. Right there, little tiny bounce right there, broke below it, and then failed to hold above it, and then back down it goes to its original support area right there. Hung around that area, and then boom, off it went. You see how these stocks like to move in stages like that? It's all about observing the stock and the charts. But if we fast forward over to today, when this stock opened up, this stock was just trending down, making lower highs and lower lows, coming all the way down to this mental $16 area. I said it in the Discord room. This is a play that I see happen all the time. The stock opens up, it just trends down, and then real fast you'll just see it reverse in a blink of an eye. And I called it out in chat. I said I'm waiting for SOLY to reverse from this downtrend and take a position. It's slowly making lower highs and lower lows, trending down from the open. 15 minutes go by, it reverses from that downtrend. You see the volume decreasing on it right at this $16 level. It's a mental level. From 16 pops up to 16.50 and starts making lower or higher lows. That gives me confirmation that this is starting to reverse. Comes all the way up to the VWAP right there at that 1670 level, and I'm looking at the 17 level. That's what I'm looking at, that mental level right there. And when it broke over 17, this ran all the way up to 1750. So you see how it trended down and then it reversed real quickly and started trending up towards the VWAP. I got in late on this. I didn't even get in at 16 or 1650. I let the chart play out and set up for me. I clearly seen that this was trending down. It reversed and was trending up. I liked that it was coming up to the VWAP. It crossed over VWAP and it was holding above VWAP. And I played it right on the break of $17 and sold into the pop up to 1750. And that's where I made my profit on SOLY. And it just goes to show I missed 50 cents, or not even 50 cents, almost a whole dollar, because this bottomed at $16 and moved all the way up to almost 17 where I got in. And I sold it when it crossed over 17 up to 1750. And then after it hit 1750, it came back down just below this $17 area right here, sitting right on the VWAP. And then just look at that. From 1680, this thing sunk all the way down to 1580, making a new low on the day. Made a real tight triangle right there, right at this 16 level too. And look at that. From 16, this thing ran up to 1630. Back down to 16, right back up to the 625, 630 level. It's all, everybody looks at charts differently. The more you look at charts, the more you're the more you're gonna start to put stuff together and see stuff. But going back to CEI right here, I made almost $400 on this stock just scalping it off of this $3 mental level. I totally missed out and didn't play all that move right here. I seen this stock right at the open. From this 250 level, this surged all the way up to over $3, up to 330, pulled back to that mental $3 area. I took a position, and then it pops up to this 325 to 330 area, sold for a profit. Comes back down to this $3 area, I got in again, $3. Actually, I got in at 310. And then surged all the way back up to 330 and 340, sold it again. Came back down to this $3 area, I didn't get in. I see that I'm up in profit on the day, almost $700. I close my broker down, I'm done for the day. That's what I want. And I missed it. From 3, this moved back up to 330 and 340. Consolidated, got tighter and tighter, and off it went. But I can't be mad at myself because I am green on the day. I'll take green and try to be done and won't even force plays the rest of the day because I've been up $800 in the day before and gave everything back. And it really sucks, and it just kills your emotions and your motivation. But CEI, very nice play today. And if you've been around for a while, CEI has been around for a long time. And if you look at the daily on this, the daily is just garbage. Look at this thing. This company has done so many reverse splits and diluted their stock. We have a 1 for 25 reverse split here on the 8th. Another reverse split over here in December. And look at all these, just all this dilution right here. Pops up, they dilute it. Pops up, they dilute it. They dilute it down even more. They do a reverse split. They dilute it even more. Dilute it even more. Pops, dilute. Look at all this. That's just a horrible looking chart. Horrible. I remember when CEI was 20 cents. And then they did like a 1 for, it was like a 1 for 160 reverse split. But what's been in play lately? The low float reverse splits. Yesterday this stock did a 1 for 25 reverse split. This thing failed hard yesterday. Very hard. Look at that. That's just nasty. And then today gaps up. because they put news out today. But it's still early. I mean, we're only an hour into the market, and look it, I'm already done for the day. So that's what it's all about. Making your money, being done for the day. Not overstaying your welcome and giving all your profits back or forcing trades. Let's see what this thing does. Hold on. Tops out here at $5 and just pulls all the way back to $4 and then pops up to $4.40. This is what I'm talking about right here. You could see it got really, really tight all right here, right at this 350 level. Getting tighter and tighter and tighter, making higher lows. What's it forming? An ascending wedge. Pops out of that ascending wedge up to 380, gets a slight pullback, back down to the area of where it broke out. See how it bounced off of that old resistance there at 350, and then off it went, and then it found resistance right at this $4 level. Resistance right there at $4. Pulls back to 375, another mental level, and then surges up above $4. Pulls back. Now it's showing a hint right there. $4 is holding as support. Off it went. And this thing just surged all the way up to $5. And then look what it did. It sold all the way down, making lower highs and lower lows, trending all the way down. Having patience, and look at it. Boom, right there at $4, where it found resistance right there. And then it showed that it wanted to hold as support right there. Bounced off $4 and got a nice little run all the way up to 440. Went sideways, sitting right there. Now that's showing this 440 level is resistance, because when it had this little bounce right there, it couldn't break above that level. And then it flushes all the way down to $4. Now look, now it's back up to 425. You see how this stock moves? Having patience, just waiting for it, observing it like a hawk, and the stock will drop hint bombs. Aligning all the stars together to paint a picture. That's what it's all about. It showed $4 was a significant area. All right here. And then it bounced right there. And then came back down right there. This could break over this 440 level. If it does break over 440, the next area it's going to run into is this 470 area. But it's all about watching the stock, observing it, getting a feel for it. CEI is already at 18.5 million in volume on the day, and we're only an hour into the market. If you're seeing volume just pump into the stock, always be checking the volume, the total amount of volume. Try to check it at least every 10 minutes. to see if volume is pumping into it. Like I just looked over and seen it's at 18.5 million in volume. If I look back over at it again here in 10 minutes and it's at 25 million in volume, that's showing me there is a demand for this stock. Volume is pumping into this stock. All right here when it was forming this ascending wedge. See, look at that. Pops over 440, runs up to 450. But all right here when it was forming this ascending wedge, it was at 8 million in volume when I checked it. And then when I checked it again, when it was breaking out of this pattern, this thing was crossing over. It was like 13 million in volume. So it doubled its volume. Total amount of volume on the day. That's when you know there's a demand for the stock. Look at that. Right from $4 up to 440, back down to $4, runs all the way up to 460. That's awesome. But it's still early. Anything could still pop up. CEI is going to be the stock for the day. Be careful though, because when you get stocks that are overextended like this, that's when you could really see some just crazy stuff happen, either to the upside or the downside. Like I said, I made my profit and I'm done. And I only played this right here. This area. I didn't play none of this, none of this. Don't overstay your welcome. If you're up in profit, lock that profit in. Oh, and one more thing I wanted to point out. This is why you follow the overall market. If we look here on the SPY, right here on the top left, and the Qs here on the top right, what these stocks do, they had a morning surge, they formed a very, very tight, you could say wedge, right there. Can't really see it with this color. Hold on. Right here with the SPY, formed a very tight wedge, had a morning surge. Qs had a morning surge, formed a ascending wedge right there. And if we look over on CEI, would this stock do this today? Had a morning surge right there, and then formed an ascending wedge. Same thing as what the SPY did and the Qs did. Remember, 3 out of 4 stocks follow the overall market. So that's why it's important to always keep the SPY, the NASDAQ, the Russell 2000, the VIX up, and just see how they're doing. Because remember, 3 out of 4 stocks are going to follow the overall market. But that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. Again, up almost $700 in profit to kick off the week. Didn't trade yesterday. CEI is going to bring FOMO into the market. Traders are going to see this. They're going to see all the profit that they missed out on. And plus, it's a continuation. You see it all the time. Yesterday, we had SOLY running from $12 all the way up to almost $20. And even OSTK going from $14.50 all the way up to almost $17. And then look what happens today. We get CEI exploding from $2.50 all the way up to $5. This is when you just take advantage of all the FOMO that's in the market. And this is why I preach you have to be here every day to just witness and see what happens and get a feel for how the market works. And that's when you could take advantage of it. Alright, that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. Be safe out there. If you made profit, lock it in. Don't overstay your welcome. If you didn't trade, that's alright. Don't get FOMO. Tomorrow's always a new day. Learn from these charts, because history will repeat itself. I'm talking about CEI, SOLY, OSTK. OSTK, very, very choppy. But alright, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow, Wednesday. CEI, the #1 stock today. Later, guys.